Welcome to another edition of Open Season as we come to you from Down the Road Brewery here in Everett, Massachusetts. That's right, we're right over by Encore. I heard a rumor you could hear the bullets over here from the shooting this weekend. My God. But enough about that. We got a crazy show for you in sports news this week. If you look to my left, you've got Brian Murphy.
Hey, everybody.
Producer. He also gives us his takes as well. He's versatile. He's like Will Smith. He's a triple threat. I'm over here where the number is 502-501-3477. As we'll take all your calls in a week where everything has kind of gone to crap for the Celtics. 7 years of what seemed to be kind of a paved out Eastern Conference without LeBron James and what seemed to be a young core that would return Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward. There are only things but finals expectations really going into this year. And, things have really changed kind of in a week where, we talked about it last week as the news kind of came out that Al Horford was looking to move on. And at this point last year, if you talk to anybody, they were talking about the Celtics being good, not just for 1 year, not just for 2 years. They were talking about the Celtics dominating this conference for the next 10 years. So with what's going on right now, we're kind of crumbled down to a situation where the hot news of the day is Celtics are looking at Kemba Walker. Now, Kemba Walker, a good player. We'll take your thoughts on him, but I don't know if you necessarily want to max this guy, and that's the type of money he's looking for. Other guy the Celtics have been linked to this week is Nikola Vucevic, the big man from Orlando, 28 years old, pretty decent rebounder, not a very good defender as far as I'm concerned. Type of guy who's kind of like DeAndre Jordan, if you will, gives up a lot of, puts up decent numbers. He's going to grab 14 and 10 for you. Doesn't necessarily block a lot of shots. Doesn't really stop a lot of big guys in the post. So do you have an appetite for that? I mean, he is the type of guy that I could see maybe Danny looking at if they're looking to get somebody to replace Al, because he has actually started to shoot threes. Guy makes about, over a three-pointer a game. So Vucevic, and is that something that you want the Celtics to try to go after as they try to pick up the pieces here, as Marcus Smart is now the longest tenured member of the Celtics, followed by Terry Rozier, followed by Jaylen Brown, followed by Jason Tatum. So it is not the longest group of experience here, and Celtics definitely looking to see if maybe they can get a veteran name in here. It seems like they're pretty desperate at this point, so do you want the Celtics to put the chips in the table for a guy like Kemba Walker, a guy like Vucevic? What are your thoughts? Rockets also rumored to do a sign-and-trade deal to acquire Jimmy Butler. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think might happen with the Rockets, as they've been obsessed with trying to take down the Warriors and be a team that competes here? So a couple things we'll be talking about, as well as the Red Sox. They keep kind of saying that they're, turn the page and back to their performance last year, and then it's hiccups. And I think this team, honestly, is missing a bigger issue here. I think this team needs to make some serious moves in order to contend like they did last year. Now, I'm not saying whole-scale changes, but if you look at it right now, Joe Kelly and Kimbrel were really the guys that were kind of pitching lights out for us in the postseason last year. It's kind of two-thirds of the dominant part of our bullpen now. Joe Kelly kind of hit lightning in a bottle, but big reason why we were successful last year was because of that bullpen. Feel like right now when the starters turn these games over, there's really nobody that they're confident handing that ball to. So I think there's definitely work to be done in terms of the bullpen. And, we'll definitely take your thoughts on that. There's been talks of maybe the Red Sox are so far behind they start trying to dump guys. There's people that say Sox need to try to spend. try to push it a little bit more, win while they have this window? What do you fall into? So we'll catch up on that as well, as we've got a 3-3 game in front of us. I think it's already been stopped once, and with the rain out, it could potentially be stopped again. So this is one of those games where you never know if they're actually going to finish it, but it's 3-3 right now. And Brian, you have any idea what inning we may be in that game?
We are in the middle of the fourth.
The middle of the fourth. All right, so we got to get through about another inning or so here, and then we can call it final. So we'll see if that game actually finishes up and ends up being something that they put on the scorecards for this year, or if we're going to get postponed. So aside from that, the NFL there was a list this week that came out that kind of went over the most overpaid players on each NFL team. The one that was listed for the Patriots was none other than Hightower. So how do you feel about that? I mean, I definitely have a lot of names that come to mind when I think about the most overpaid guys last year. I mean, for me, Hightower was one of the best guys in the Super Bowl, absolutely crushing guys. So I think the money was definitely worth it. It's kind of like if you said that Gronk wasn't worth it last year, like with his performance down the stretch.